Well, I just thought I'd get on here and introduce you to my new topic, new but old, ancient, been around forever, and that is death. Hmm. I mean, just sink in and just see how that feels when you hear those words, and that will tell you your relationship to it and how you feel about it or your fears around it. And I've been sitting there for a number of years now, had a calling to death about 14 years ago, approximately. And the calling was to deepen myself with to the relationship of death and to learn more about it. And I guess at that point to break my illusion that I have to death and the collective narrative and story that is playing out here in this reality around death. And what is all that? Well, I'm going to dive into that in my new series that I'm going to be opening up, which is all around death, conversations with death, rather than conversations with God, conversations with death, which I think is the same. It's a conversation with God. I got the calling, as I say, quite a number of years ago. It started to become very strong after I moved out of the mold apartment and into the third floor apartment that I lived in. That was a beautiful apartment. And the call started to come in around death. And when I say the call, I'll just try to be as specific as I can with what was coming. And what was coming was this fear that arose whenever the imagination, I imagined death or thought of death, which was starting to come in quite often because the call was getting more intense. And so I would start to feel fear, and I would start to feel like I needed resolution with my daughter, and I needed to find a happy place and a place to have conversations with her and to help her, a lot of projection there, to help her feel more peaceful in death, which is really about me feeling more peaceful in death. I didn't have to do anything with my daughter, although I'm fully open to do everything with her, but you get the drift, the insistent necessity or need or expectation to have to do something with someone else in order to make it better for myself. Which I spent a lot of time in the last 3 years really sitting with death. Like I've sat with it every single day, throughout the day, at night when I go to bed, when I wake up in the morning. I am sitting with death because of the diagnosis that I was given, which was over 3 years ago now, in September, of stage 4 breast cancer metastasized. So this is a little introduction, just a little place to come in and to tell you that I'm going to be starting a series on conversations with death, and just a little sort of preamble of that and what has been bringing me to this place. And finally, when I would not listen and really dive into the topic of death, death came to me. The idea of death arrived at my doorstep with a stage 4 metastasized breast cancer diagnosis and 12 doctors telling me that I had 3 months to live. Stay tuned. Let's deepen in the topic of death. Let's bring it back into that beautiful place of what death really is and what it really means for us. Namaste, walk peacefully. And when you hear the calling for something, do it.